A customer came in on Saturday and he brought in a 4080. A problem with a 4080 that I have not seen before ever. I have worked on a lot of 4080s and 4090s, but this specific issue I have not seen before. Let me show you. That's the card, right? Where is the connector? Where is the connector? The problem was, or the problem is, a connector that broke clean off on that cable. Okay? Customer said he was using the computer and he smelled a burning smell. Smoke actually triggered the fire alarm. And he went to check on the cable that is plugged into his video card, and the cable came right off. So the cable was plugged in like this. He went to check on it, and then he was able to just remove that cable. The cable desoldered itself, or the connector desoldered itself from that card. Let me show you the card. Look at this. I did not touch the card. No flux, no heat, nothing. The holes are clean without doing any work. And if we look at that cable, you can see how the cable fused itself to that connector. The connector probably got so hot to a point where the cable molded itself to the connector, and solder on that connector or on the board just liquefied, and the customer was able to remove that cable. A lot of times people blame it on an adapter, whether it's cable mod or something else, and people blame it on cable not plugged in fully where the connector melts, but this one came right off the board. We cannot even see the connector that has molded itself to that cable, but we can tell from the board that it was really bad. The customer said even with the smoke coming up, the card was still working. But as soon as he reached for that cable, the cable came right off, and of course, he lost connection. I do not know if we can just fit a connector in the holes or if we have to do more work to clean the holes, but they look they look factory clean to me. It looks like the factory never installed a connector on that board ever before. Look at how clean the holes are. That's amazing. Let me grab a connector. And we're gonna put the connector like that, and look at this. It went in without any issues. We have more than enough room in the holes. The connector easily goes in and out. Wow. I can tell you right now, you can point 500 degrees on that board for half an hour, and you're not gonna be able to desolder that connector. We apply low melt solder, so we do not damage the board with heat when removing that connector. You can watch all the 4090 videos we did on replacing the connector, and I would not say it's an easy job because the board will absorb all that heat. You have a 12 to 15 layer board here. The board is gonna absorb the heat. And the only time you are able to liquefy solder is if the board itself reached the temperature of solder. Just imagine how much heat you need to apply to that board to remove the connector. That's why we apply low melt solder. So to come and tell me that that connector just desoldered itself, that's crazy. And like I said, it's something I have not seen before. And I do this every day. People ask me, should I opt for 4080 instead of 4090 or maybe 4070? I can tell you right now, I have not seen a single 4070 that came in for a burnt connector. I've seen 4080s, much, much less than 4090s, but we do get 4080s for burnt connectors. And that's one example right here. We have discussed this topic to death, but every time I get surprised with a different issue or a different story with the connector. We have a camera at the front desk. Maybe I can extract the audio between me and the customer so you can hear what the customer said.
Did you ever use a cable mod adapter or any
Nope.
adapter? So no middleman between the cable and
as you can see, the graphic card's still pretty new. It's only been like about 5-6 months.
I've been going back and forth with the 4090s. I've done a lot of videos on 4090s, and a lot of people still say that it's the adapter between the video card and the cable is what's burning. But in your case, you never use an adapter.
No, never.
And then you smelled burn as soon as you
Oh,
touched
yeah.
that cable, it came right off.
Yeah, my thing went off. The smoke detector went off.
Okay, and as soon as you touched the cable, it came right off.
Yep, it came right off. Like it was like a little touch, just a little touch. Yeah, because I was just investigating. Like, well, what's smelling like burn?
Okay, all right. I may do a video on this one and use our talk, our voice.
Okay, let's go.
To confirm.
Yes, I'll definitely watch that video.
We do not need to use low melt solder. We do not need to apply any heat onto the board. All we need to do is use our soldering iron. Turn the fume extractor on. Right now I'm holding the connector from the bottom, and we're gonna apply the board is still cold. I did not preheat the board, but that's okay. I just want to secure the connector and then we'll take care of business. Just like that. Just preheating the board a bit. Solder will flow better if the board is preheated, just a tiny bit. We do not need to overdo it. And we need to use a bigger tip. I have this smaller tip on, but we need to use a bigger tip because the bigger the tip, the more heat transfer. Hello, how are you doing? All right, just give me a minute. I just preheated the board. Now I need to shut off the recording, or maybe I'll keep it rolling.
Pretty good.
All right, doing good. How was life treating you?
Good. Can't complain.
Just a quick cleanup. We are done. The connector is soldered on beautifully. Just one thing I noticed is the ring on the sense pin is missing, but that's okay because the pin is making a connection. Okay, the pin is making a connection. I'm gonna hand the board over to Big Boss to reassemble and test. We're gonna call the customer to come and pick up. The customer is local. We are done cleaning. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll do something else in the next video.